What's up, everybody? This is the Healing Kings podcast, and this is your host, Drew Cost, and we're going to talk about the three words be, do, have. I've heard this a lot of times, and I want to put my spin on it, and I want to help you understand what it means, how to get it, and how to get it more and more in your life. When we usually goal set, we usually write down, what it is that we want to achieve. And if you go a little bit further, you write down when you want to achieve it by. Jim Rohn used to always say, a goal without a deadline is just a dream. Let that sink in. Jim Rohn is one of the goats of speaking. I wish he had a podcast when he was alive. So we usually put the goal down, write it down, write down a deadline. And what usually happens after that is we store it away. We don't go back to looking at it. We don't go back to dissecting it. The goal you want to have, the goal you want to achieve, might require you to become a different type of person or a different person in general. One of my favorite scenes is in the Batman Dark Knight Rises movie, and Bane has captured him. Go watch that movie. It's really, really good. Bane has captured him, and he's in jail. And he tries to make an attempt to climb the wall to get out of this cave, and it doesn't happen. He almost breaks his back and everything. He doesn't make it. He's back in his cell. He's on the floor, and all of a sudden, he starts to see what is happening to the city of Gotham. He sees that they're being destroyed and that Bane is the head of it. So he's like, I got to do something about this. My next goal is to go back, get out of here, go back to my city, and gain victory over the enemy, over the villain. Now, what he starts doing is he starts to do like push-ups and pull-ups and things like that. And one of the guys says, why are you building yourself up? And Batman knew, I have to become a different person to get to this different goal I want, because it's bigger than me and it's going to require more out of me. So you have to decide now. Let's break this down. Who do you want to become? Are you setting this goal just to scratch something off of the list or to cross something off of the list? Or are you wanting this goal because you want to be a different type of person? One of my goals was to be a better father. And I knew to be a better father, there are some sacrifices I'm going to have to make. I may not have as much leisure time as I would like to. I need to be emotionally present for my daughters. And it's a struggle at times because, let's be honest, we are selfish people. We like to do things at our times, our way, and that usually is it. But the sacrifice meant I'm going to become a different person. This is the B. Who do I want to become to get this goal? Who do I need to become to get this goal? So in that scene with Batman, he becomes a resilient person all over again, but he becomes this resilient person without the Batman attire. This is the bigger part, because he was used to fighting being Batman. He wasn't used to fighting being Bruce Wayne. So now as Bruce Wayne, he's building himself up, getting ready to go fight. Eventually he goes out and he wins. That's a different story, different day. The next part of his goal setting is, after I find out and I come to my senses of who do I need to be, what do I need to do? This is the do part. What does a successful father do? What does a successful husband do? What does a successful business owner do? What does a successful brother do? Whatever you want to become successful at, what does that type of person do? This is a part where you start to find out how you're going to unlearn things, how you're going to learn things, how you're going to build new habits, how you're going to break old habits. This is the most important part, because this is where most people stop at. Now you might think, Drew, why do people stop at this stage if it's the most important part? It's like anything else. What's easy to do is easy not to do. That's really what it is. This doing part, I want to break this part down for you. Write down, if you want to become a successful, let's say you were using a successful father, write down who would you classify to be a successful father in your eyes? Who would you classified to be a successful business owner in your eyes, and write down what are some traits that I see with this person. What are some characteristics that I actually like about this person? What are some that I don't like? There are times where, as men, we want to strive only sometimes in business, and we'll get there at the expense of everything else around us going bad, at the expense of us not even having a relationship with ourselves anymore, our spouses, our kids. But we got the business goal. You want to think about, what do I need to do? What do they have that I desire? And what do they have that I don't desire? I don't desire to work all day, every day. That's not my desire anymore. When I was younger, my goal was, man, I can outwork, I can outgrind anybody. That's not my goal anymore. I want to do what I have to do, and then I want to actually go home or stop doing what I was doing to do something totally different. What do I need to do? The first thing you need to do is find out, what is the habit or the limiting belief that's holding you back. Usually the habit that's holding you back is procrastination. You're not working towards something consistently, or you won't start moving forward towards it because you feel you don't have all the answers. And as a man, I'm going to just tell you this: that is sometimes the biggest enemy. Feeling that I can't move forward because I don't have all the answers, and someone's going to find out that I'm not as smart as I say I am, or someone's going to find out that I don't have all the answers. My man, fellas, brothers, kings, you can move forward without all the answers. You can move forward without all the answers. When I wanted to restart the video podcast, I told myself, if I don't have a mic, if I don't have a camera, if I don't have all the pieces, if I got to start this video podcast with me taking my phone, putting the camera on, and starting that way, I'm going to start. I'm going to start ugly, and I'm going to get better as time goes. But I'm not going to let this completely stop me or hinder me. And I can be bold in that area. And then there's other areas where, like, Drew, go clean the gutters. We all have those areas. So back to this doing part. Think about, what's the limiting belief that I have that's stopping me? How do I find out what that limiting belief is, Drew? Ask yourself, what haven't you got yet that you've been saying you wanted? What haven't you got yet that you've been saying you wanted? I want to do this. Why haven't you gotten it yet? Usually we say it's money. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. What haven't you got yet that you've been saying you wanted? Write that down. And then write down underneath it, what can I do today to work towards that? Momentum, small steps, small keys open big doors. The being, who do I need to be to obtain this goal? The doing, what are some limiting beliefs that I have that I need to let go of? Myron Golden used to always say, you can have these limiting beliefs. You can just also decide not to keep them. So he's like, you can have them, but you can decide not to keep them, or you can keep them. The other part is the habits. What do I need to do consistently? For people who I've trained with fitness and lifting weights and things like that, one of the habits that they have to build is working out when they don't want to. There are going to be more days than none of you having to work out than you want to. Trust me on this one. You're not going to stay motivated for a long, long time, right? There are going to be days when you're like, I should not go. I'm just going to stay home. And those are the days when you start to build a habit of, I'm just a person who works out. Athletes, we see athletes, they do things they don't want to do all the time. And when they are achieving bigger goals and achieving bigger things, it's because they were doing the work when they didn't want to do the work. For habits, you have to think, what kind of habits does this person have that I want to become? What kind of habits does a successful father have? What kind of habits does a successful business owner have? What kind of habits does a great friend have? And then now we need to chase after those habits, bit by bit, brick by brick. The last part is have. Not only do you have the goal, you also have a new, I like to say, layer of resilience, a new layer of growth. Because as you're becoming somebody, as you're doing the work that they would do, you become somebody completely different. I'm not the same person I was when I first started working out. I've built so much resilience since then. I had to find out, what do I need to do to become that type of person who works out, who feels like an athlete. What do they do that I can have it? As a dad, I'm not the same dad I was 4 years ago. Man, it was scary 4 years ago. I had to find out, what is a good dad? What do they do? What are habits I need to have? I need to talk to my kids. I need to sit there and play with them. I need to have moments where I'm not on the computer. I need to have moments where, when I'm frustrated and tired, I'm sitting there watching them do the craziest thing. And it's not easy, guys, but it's possible. So today, I just want to inspire you. You can have everything that you want. Reminds me of the song "The Sky's the Limit." You can have what you want, be what you want. You can have it. Just decide, who do I need to become? Be. What do I need to do? That's the doing. And then I can have what that person has. It's not impossible. It's definitely possible, guys. So, as always, take these tips, take these insights, and let me know, what do you do with them? Hit me up, DM me, email me. Let me know, what do you do with them? And outside of that, guys, be great.